This debate right here, right now on Peter Skeen Ogden and the city of Ogden, how it got named Ogden. By the way, he was wanted for a murder in Montreal. His father was a judge. Go west, young man. He never set foot in Ogden, ever. What does Wasatch mean? It's French. Est-ce que vous parlez français? No? Who's the savages? You ever seen the movie Revenant? Based on Glass's journal. Jedediah Smith, Jim Bridger, all right here. The Rendezvous, Fort Beneventura, long before that. Oh yeah, how about Glass? I love that guy. He's my favorite of them all. You know, and I love Bridger. So, how did it get named Ogden? Brownsville? You know, I'll tell you how it got named Ogden. Peter Skeen Ogden, ruthless, evil. Oregon. Never was here. He made it up to the other side. What is now Mountain Green. Cash, his name what? Francis? No? Wasatch? To hide. So the original, they came here, the Ashley 200. Ashley 100. Will be 200 years this year. It's coming up on it. They basically ran an ad in the paper in Missouri. You got a lot of, all kinds of derelicts hiding out from the law. Became infamous fur traders. They were here. Jim, this is something rotten in the New Denmark. John Weaver himself, the Danish boy, just like me. I was born right up the road on the corner of 24th and Harrison, the old D hospital. John Weaver. There was more fur here than any place I'd ever seen. You know, so sponsored by the United States government. It was all marsh from the foothills all the way to the lake. This was all marsh. They were here after the fur, and they went after it. You see the movie Revenant and watch us. It'll teach you a lot about Ogden. That scene where they killed the elk right there in Riverdale. So, the great Fraudian city, isn't it perfect? What a sham that turned out to be, $1 million. So, he was wanted for a murder in Montreal. His father was a judge. Go west, young man. So, Abraham Hunsaker I, who's my grandfather's Abraham Saker IV, he was married to Ella Potter. That Ella Potter, Ikes. They got together. They had 3 daughters. I'm their grandson. So, they named it after James Brown, Mormon Battalion. James Brown had been with the Mormon Battalion. They walked all the way down and the fighting was over. Abraham Hunsaker stayed in San Diego, Old Town. Then they worked their way up to Monterey when they signed it over at the tree and turned this in. This was Mexico. Before that, it was New Spain. From 1821 to 1848, this was Mexico. The tariff house and the capital was Monterey, California. The old Pacific capital, John Lewis Stevenson, my favorite. So I do a lot of work, you know, there. My daughter ran this, and if you want to know history, go talk to Tony Cross's wife. Yeah, she ran this for all that. Susan, what they did to this guy. I did all the restoration on this work. I did all the restoration on all these buildings, every one of them. I never worked on this one. So how did he get named Peter Skeen Ogden? He never set foot here. Well, okay, they found out James Brown, Captain Brown, he's selling off the deeds from the Mexican king. This was Mexico. After he fully well know that this became the United States Polk. My grandson goes to Polk. We're restoring it right now. Taylor said when they got there, they rose the flag in Mexico City. Everybody freaked out. You invaders. That's how Polk lost the White House. They moved it back to the Rio Grande. So this became the United States. Captain Brown was a crook. Everybody knew he was a crook. Well, we can't name him Brown. He was selling off deeds that weren't his deeds. So they confiscated everything on the whole Wasatch all the way out. All the original land grants that he sold, and they had to reissue them. He was a crook. So they were like searching for a name. Bridger? Jim Bridger had moved to Names Monument, which is Fontenelle Reservoir by now. This was going to be named Bridger. Jedediah Smith. Confused with, no. I confused with Joseph Smith. Brigham Young, doing the horse trading, you know, from out there at Corinth. He made the final decision. Yep. How? It was based on advice. And the reason I know this, I spent so much of my life at the Bear River Massacre. My mother was a teacher at the Indian school. And for years and years, all the great writers and historians who are all long past, the brilliant geniuses, they were all there, and they would mingle and tell stories. And my mother, who's from Lava Hot Springs, Idaho, Ella Potter from Lava Hot Springs, Idaho, Ike Potter's last name, Colville, after they hung him and slit his throat, that's where they located. You know, I always argued about the body up there at Echo. I know where the body's at, you know, because he was buried behind it, and then they flooded the reservoir. It's in Provo. But anyway,